Yeah, man, I was just saying that, for the culture, I felt like, Wayne should perform.
Well, you tweeted about it. You said, all y'all acting like y'all cool with how they playing it for the Super Bowl. Shaking my head. Most cultural city in the USA, New Orleans. It's a smack in the face to every hip-hop legend from Louisiana, Master P, Birdman. This shows they never wanted y'all to kick in the door in the first place, but they still trying to lock it. Super Bowl 22 was in Cali, and Cali artists was allowed to do their thing in it. That was a great show, but now it's in Louisiana, and no Louisiana legends can't do their thing. I don't respect it.
What did I lie about?
Well, out of the blue, Kendrick dropped a brand new album.
Yeah.
Called GNX, and he actually addressed what everyone's been saying. You haven't heard this before, so I'm gonna play a 5-second snippet where he actually addresses the Lil Wayne.
Carter 3, I held my rolling chain proud, irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
Did you catch it all?
I don't get it.
He said, I used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rolly chain proud, irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
I don't get it.
He's basically saying that he worked hard to get this position, and now Wayne is upset that he's not getting to perform while Kendrick is. He also mentioned in the next verse how Nas was the only rapper that actually called him to congratulate him over doing the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what do you think? How do you take that?
That's how you feel. I mean, I guess that's how you feel. I just spoke how I feel, I just feel like could have got 1 or 2 songs. Super Bowl halftime show. Somebody from down there could have got a couple songs.
Boosie weighed in after Kendrick Lamar addressed a controversy surrounding Lil Wayne and the Super Bowl halftime show selection, and his reaction focused on respect, legacy, and hometown pride rather than musical competition. The discussion began when Kendrick was announced as a headliner for the Super Bowl in New Orleans, a city deeply associated with Lil Wayne's identity and career. For many fans and artists from Louisiana, the choice immediately raised questions about why Wayne was not selected for an event taking place in his own city. Lil Wayne later spoke openly about how the decision affected him. He said the snub hurt and described it as a disappointing moment, especially given his long career and cultural impact. His comments shifted the narrative from speculation to emotion. It was no longer just about booking decisions. It became about recognition, appreciation, and whether legends are honored while they are still active. That emotional response from Wayne is what kept the controversy alive long after the initial announcement. Kendrick eventually addressed the situation through his music. On his album, he included a line that referenced Lil Wayne and the backlash surrounding the halftime show decision. Kendrick framed it as a conflicted moment, suggesting that his own success and position put him in an uncomfortable place where someone he respects felt let down. The line was interpreted by many as an acknowledgement rather than a dismissal. Kendrick did not attack Wayne or mock the situation. He recognized the tension and the feelings involved. Boosie's response centered on that acknowledgement. From his perspective, Kendrick speaking on the situation mattered because it showed awareness. Boosie did not treat Kendrick's words as disrespectful. Instead, he viewed them as a recognition of Wayne's importance and the emotional weight of the moment. Boosie has consistently emphasized loyalty to Louisiana artists, especially those who paved the way. For him, Wayne represents more than chart success. He represents a generation and a city. Boosie has also been vocal about how often Louisiana artists feel overlooked in major industry moments. The Super Bowl selection reignited that frustration. In Boosie's view, hosting the game in New Orleans without featuring Lil Wayne felt like a missed opportunity to honor local culture. His commentary has repeatedly returned to the idea that hometown legends should be celebrated on the biggest stages when possible. That belief shaped how he interpreted both the snub and Kendrick's response. Importantly, Boosie did not frame Kendrick as the enemy. He made it clear that Kendrick did not choose himself for the halftime show. The decision came from organizers and corporate interests. Boosie separated Kendrick as an artist from the system that made the final call. That distinction allowed him to criticize the situation without turning it into an artist versus artist conflict. The reaction from fans mirrored that split perspective. Some viewed Kendrick's lyric as respectful and mature, acknowledging Wayne's influence without escalating the situation. Others felt it did not go far enough, arguing that Wayne deserved more than a lyrical reference. Boosie's take landed between those extremes. He recognized the gesture while still maintaining that the situation itself was disappointing. Boosie's commentary also reflected his broader views on legacy. He often speaks about honoring artists while they are alive rather than waiting until after the fact. In his eyes, the Super Bowl was a moment that could have done that for Wayne in his own city. Kendrick's acknowledgement did not erase that missed opportunity, but it did show awareness of why people were upset. Another layer to Boosie's reaction was a respect between artists. He emphasized that Kendrick addressing Wayne at all showed a level of consideration. Silence might have been interpreted as indifference. By referencing Wayne, Kendrick signaled that he understood the cultural context and the emotions involved. Boosie viewed that as important, even if it didn't satisfy everyone. The conversation also highlighted how differently artists and fans view industry decisions. From a business standpoint, halftime selections are based on broad appeal, performance style, and brand alignment. From a cultural standpoint, location and legacy matter deeply. Boosie's comments lean heavily toward the cultural argument. For him, New Orleans and Lil Wayne are inseparable, and that connection should have been reflected on the Super Bowl stage. At this stage, the situation had not escalated into direct conflict between Kendrick and Wayne. Wayne acknowledged his disappointment, but did not attack Kendrick personally. Kendrick acknowledged the tension without placing blame. Boosie's reaction functioned as commentary rather than provocation. He spoke as someone invested in Louisiana pride rather than someone trying to ignite a feud. The controversy remained a talking point because it touched on broader issues in hip-hop. Who gets honored, when they get honored, and who decides? Kendrick's response addressed one piece of that puzzle, and Boosie's reaction explained why the puzzle mattered in the first place. The story, at this point, was less about animosity and more about recognition, respect, and the emotions tied to legacy moments that only come once. As the discussion continued, Boosie expanded on why the Super Bowl moment carried so much weight for Lil Wayne and for Louisiana as a whole. In his view, the halftime show was not just another performance slot. It was a symbolic opportunity to highlight a city's musical identity on one of the largest stages in the world. Boosie emphasized that New Orleans is not just a host city. It is a foundation of modern hip-hop, and Lil Wayne is one of its most influential figures. That context is why the decision felt personal to so many people connected to the region. Boosie acknowledged that Kendrick Lamar is widely respected as an artist and performer. He did not question Kendrick's talent, work ethic, or impact. Instead, his focus stayed on timing and location. Boosie's argument was that Kendrick's success did not negate Wayne's significance, especially in a New Orleans setting. From his perspective, honoring Wayne would not have diminished Kendrick's stature. It would have amplified the cultural meaning of the event. When addressing Kendrick's lyrical response, Boosie viewed it as a moment of awareness rather than resolution. Kendrick's words showed that he understood the disappointment surrounding Wayne, but Boosie made it clear that understanding does not undo the original decision. The lyric acknowledged the emotional fallout, but it did not change the fact that Wayne was not on that stage. Boosie treated that distinction carefully, praising the acknowledgement without overstating its impact. Boosie also touched on how quickly narratives shift in hip-hop. When Kendrick addressed the situation, some fans interpreted it as closure, while others saw it as reopening the wound. Boosie leaned toward the idea that the conversation was never fully about Kendrick's response. It was about whether the industry values legacy in moments that are meant to celebrate culture. Kendrick's lyric became part of the conversation, but not the conclusion. Another point Boosie made was about generational influence. Lil Wayne's career spans decades, and his influence reaches across multiple eras of rap. Boosie argued that moments like the Super Bowl are rare chances to publicly acknowledge that kind of longevity. He framed the situation as a reminder that recognition often comes late, sometimes after artists are no longer able to fully enjoy it. That reality, in his view, is what made the snub sting more deeply. Boosie also addressed the idea that Wayne's own reactions shaped public perception. Wayne did not attack Kendrick or the organizers aggressively. He spoke honestly about how the situation made him feel. That honesty resonated with fans and artists alike. Boosie respected that approach, noting that Wayne expressed disappointment without turning it into hostility. That tone influenced how others, including Boosie himself, chose to discuss the issue. The conversation around the Super Bowl selection also highlighted differences between industry logic and cultural expectation. Boosie pointed out that decisions made behind closed doors often prioritize broad appeal and commercial considerations. Fans, however, tend to view events like the Super Bowl through a cultural lens. They expect the halftime show to reflect the city hosting the game. Boosie's comments consistently returned to that disconnect. As more reactions surfaced, it became clear that Kendrick's response did not escalate tensions between artists. There was no public back and forth or hostility between Kendrick and Wayne. Instead, the situation settled into a broader debate about recognition. Boosie's role in that debate was to articulate why the issue mattered beyond headlines and social media arguments. Boosie also made it clear that criticism of the decision did not require tearing Kendrick down. He rejected the idea that supporting Wayne meant attacking Kendrick. In his view, both artists could be respected simultaneously. The problem was not Kendrick being chosen. The problem was Wayne being overlooked in a moment that felt tailor-made to celebrate his legacy. The longer the conversation lasted, the more it became about how hip-hop measures success and honor. Boosie framed the Super Bowl as a cultural milestone, not just a career achievement. Kendrick's lyric acknowledged the tension, Wayne's comments revealed the emotional impact, and Boosie's perspective connected those pieces to a larger discussion about fairness and appreciation. By the end of the discourse, Boosie's position remained consistent. Kendrick's response showed awareness and respect, but it did not erase the disappointment felt by Wayne and his supporters. The situation did not turn into a feud, but it also did not fade away quietly. It remained a reference point for future conversations about legacy, hometown pride, and how the biggest platforms choose who represents hip-hop culture. The story ultimately reflected how layered these moments are. A single decision can carry business reasoning, emotional consequences, and cultural significance all at once. Boosie's commentary helped frame those layers without turning the situation into unnecessary conflict. His reaction focused on honoring where hip-hop comes from and questioning how often that origin is acknowledged when it matters most.
Now,
I wasn't upset, man. I was just saying that, for the culture, I felt like, Wayne should perform.
well, you tweeted about it, said, all y'all acting like y'all cool with how they playing it for the Super Bowl, shaking my head, the most cultural city in the USA, New Orleans, to smack in the face to every hip-hop legend from Louisiana, Master P, Birdman. This shows they never wanted y'all to kick in the door in the first place, but they still trying to lock it. Super Bowl 22 was in Cali, and Cali artists was allowed to do their thing in it. That was a great show, but now it's in Louisiana, and no Louisiana legends can't do their thing. I don't respect it.
What did I lie about?
Well, out of the blue, Kendrick dropped a brand new album
Yeah.
called GNX, and he actually addressed what everyone's been saying. You haven't heard this before, so I'm gonna play a 5-second snippet where he actually addresses the Lil Wayne thing.
Up the Carter 3, I held my rolling chain proud, irony. I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
Did you catch it all?
I don't get it.
He said, I used to bump the Carter 3. I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
I don't get it.
He's basically saying that he worked hard to get this position, and now Wayne is upset that he's not getting to perform while Kendrick is. He also mentioned in the next verse how Nas was the only rapper that actually called him to congratulate him while we're doing the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think? How do you take that?
That's how you feel. I mean, I guess that's how you feel.